Hey everybody, what is going on? All right, I am back with my Scream props video that I told you guys about probably in the last week or two. I finally have a chance here now to get this thing unboxed and show you what I have inside of here. It's definitely going to be interesting, and we're going to do a little comparison with some other versions of the same prop that I have. I just want to see how this sucker measures up. So let's get into it. Okay, so talking Scream props, I mean, once you have your cosplay, at least your mask and your robe, I think the next most important thing, even more so than proper boots and everything, is a good buck 120. So basically, I would start with something like this. Now, this was released last year by Trick or Treat Studios. It's pretty cool looking, actually. It's a pretty neat looking knife. Definitely resembles a buck 120. It's a little big. It's definitely larger than a buck 120, but it is con safe and it's pretty sturdy, you know. And they're not that expensive, but it's a huge step up improvement from this thing. So you remember how bad these were? Oh, these things just never looked right. I'm really glad somebody finally took the time and effort to make one that looks like one of these buck 120s. So this is kind of your standard entry, I would say, and you can make these look pretty good. Like if you're not into the super shiny chrome look, and some people are and some aren't, but you know, it does take decent pictures when you got that shine to it. But if you do want to make it look a little more realistic, you know, some people lightly sand them with a high grit just to take off some of that shine. And you want to be careful too and not over sand, because that can sometimes take the paint right off. So they're usually not that forgiving. I plan on doing it with one of these because I have bought two when I originally got these last year. Again, they're not very expensive and they look great, and I'm sure they sell out pretty fast too, because you know, there's a lot of interest recently with Scream 5 and 6 coming out in the last couple of years. Anyway, if you want something though a little bit more realistic, there are other options out there. Some people make foam buck 120s. There's rubber versions out there as well. Personally, I like the resin. The resin tend to look closest to the real thing in my opinion. But resin is tough. Like I have a resin one here that I got, and actually you can see the difference. The resin one is based on a real buck 120. This is like a 3D print, so that's the actual size. So you can see just how much of a difference the Trick or Treat Studios one is. And if you look here, it almost looks like, you know, you got your hilt or whatever and your blade. It's quite a difference. It's so skinny. And the actual one, of course, the back is quite wide. So obviously there's some differences right there off the bat. This one is a really nice job that Clive did with Workbench Designs for me. This is the one I like to use the most with my cosplay. The fine details up close are a little bit harder to see. I mean, it'd be nice if it was a little bit more defined and stuff, but this is a pretty nice example. I'm pretty happy with this one. I originally wanted to get a chrome kind of finish on it, like shiny anyway, and I guess he was having trouble with his batches he was doing with it, so he had to pull the plug on it, and he was going to give me a refund. And then I said, well, why not, you know, send me a standard, you know, steel looking one. It's just, you know, gray more or less. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's a nice looking knife, and it should be con safe. And most places I think are still okay with it. It's a little bit pokey, but some places are getting touchy about resin, so I don't know if they'll be, you know, happy with that or not. But in most cases it's not a big deal. I've never had any trouble with a resin one yet. But this particular one that I got is from a place, this fellow is on Etsy, and the name of the store is the Mask Creation Shop. It's out of Germany actually, so it's another one I went overseas to get, kind of like Clive's here. But it came here a little while ago actually, and I've kind of been sitting on it for a bit. So I wanted to, you know, unbox it on camera and then maybe do a little bit of a comparison and, you know, just see what we got. So let's get this thing open. All right, so I got the box open and it is wrapped up quite well. Check that out. Crazy. Okay. Oh, and there we are, nicely bubble wrapped. You can see it in there a bit. Looks cool. Looks cool already. All right. Taped nicely. So he does a good job packing it for the long trip. Lots of tape in there. Is that a lone single packing peanut? Why? No, that's cool. Whatever. Okay, what do we got here? We have a card. The Mass Creations, made in Germany. Ooh, very cool. Check out that card. Right there. There's a look at it. That subtle off-white coloring. Oh my God. It even has a watermark. Sorry, just put that there. Very cool. Okay, oh my goodness, look at this. He sent a little pack of gummy bears. Just like the pros with their sours. Gummy bears are cooler, man. I'm down with that. Okay, set those right there. And oh wow. Oh, nice. Wow, check that out. Look at the definition on this. Wow. That is amazing. That totally looks like a blade. And it has almost the more of the hook on the end, like I believe the 95 models had, I believe, because apparently they've changed very slightly over the years. And the one that was used in the 96 film, I believe, is a 1995 model. And for some reason, it looks a little bit more pointy at the end. Let's look at it next to Clive's here. Oh yeah, Clive's looks a little bit on the small side, actually. The detail is, wow, it's quite a bit different. They're almost exactly the same size. But whoa, the detail in this one, my goodness. It's not nearly as thick. I mean, look at the thickness there. It almost looks like it really should. This one is really thick. It almost looks like some kind of a stunt knife compared to this. This one is so much thinner. And I mean, look at that. Like, you can really see the details in here. The buck is really easy to read. I mean, you can see it on here too. It's just, this is really easy to read. And man, I like that curve. That is awesome. Well, I think I can safely say right now that is worth the price of admission right there. I mean, this is excellent. Really nicely made. And, you know, not saying anything about Clive's here. It's nice. It certainly does the trick, but wow, the definition on this thing. It's just, it seems to be like carved down so much more precisely, you know? It's really something. Look at that. I'll get you some shots here that are a little closer. Handles, again, very similar. Now, I can smell the paint still smells fresh on this Mass Creations copy. But I am blown away at the quality difference here. Holy smokes. And this Mass Creation ones as well is a little bit longer. You can see it probably has, oh, half a centimeter or so, if you guys know what that is. It is not a big difference in size, but it's definitely a little bigger. And man, like it looks sharp. Like this looks sharp and legit. Oh wow! And the point on it is that's definitely pretty pointy. Wow, that's something else though. That tip is like, whew, that is pokey. Hopefully they won't give me too much of a hard time about that. It is a little bit pokier than this one as well, but wow, I'm really surprised. That looks awesome. This is one of those things where it's like big win because it actually looks exactly like a lot of the pictures that were shown in the reviews. You know, I was looking at them going, wow, that looks spectacular. Like, does it really look like that? I mean, for the price, it wasn't bad. I think they ran around All said and done, maybe 60 Canadian, which really isn't that bad. That's probably just over 40 US, you know. That's not bad. Considering one of these runs, it's pushing 20 bucks Canadian. It's probably 16 or 18, something like that. So I mean, so for, you know, the price of maybe 3 of these, you could get yourself something that looks that accurate. That's wild. Blows my mind. Well, I must say this knife by the Mass Creations on Etsy is badass. Like, that looks fantastic. I cannot believe how real that looks. It is gorgeous. This is definitely the best one I have in my collection by a mile now. I am blown away at the difference in the detail. It's amazing. I mean, for the price, for like 60 bucks Canadian, you cannot go wrong. Wow. So thoroughly impressed with that. That is going to look so badass with my cosplay. Wow. And hopefully the cons won't have any issue with it, because man, it sure does look real. Whew. Crazy. So again, one more look. That's the Mass Creations. So on Etsy, their store is the Mass Creations Shop. That is where I got this one from. They are also on Instagram at the_mask_creations. You can find them there as well. I am really impressed, man. Wow. That is absolutely awesome. That looks so legit. Wow. Very happy with this decision. This was a great purchase, and I'm looking forward to using that with the Ghostface cosplay. All right, well, that is it for the Scream prop pickup. How cool was that, huh? You know, again, if you're looking for a $120, and of course you're going to be if you're going to dress as Ghostface, it's an important prop. I think, you know, you want to have something that looks decent. And, you know, if you're on a budget, this is an absolutely awesome alternative. Like, we are really lucky to have a prop like this that is so affordable and looks decent. But I mean, you can go here, or you can spend about 3 times the money and get something that looks, you know, about as real as it gets without it being real. So, you know, pick your poison. I don't think you can go wrong either way. Like I said, there is nothing wrong with one of these. These look great. They look great on camera too, and the oversized kind of, you know, you really see the knife, right? So there's nothing wrong with that at all. So that is a little comparison for you guys. So I have those 3. We have the new one from the Mass Creations on Etsy. We have Clive's he did for me with Burkbench Design. And of course the Trick or Treat Studios plastic ones. So I'll leave you guys with some more shots of those 3 at the very end of the video as well. But that is pretty much it for the Scream prop pickup. Super happy with that. Man, that thing looks fantastic. I do have another pickups video coming soon as well. It's a Gutter Garbs pickup that I got recently that I wanted to show you guys as well. So that will probably be the one that is up next. I have a few other things sort of cooking, but again, you guys know I'm always busy, and I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But anyway, thanks so much for watching as always, you guys. I do really appreciate it. So I'll leave you with a few more shots of those $120 props, and we will see you guys again for another one. Take care.